Let's talk about an interesting disease, the maple syrup urine disease. So, maple syrup urine disease is a very rare genetic condition that presents almost always congenitally, so in infants and young children. It's a metabolic disorder, specifically in the breakdown of certain amino acids, those being leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Now, amino acids are very important. They're essential building blocks for proteins, and proteins serve many functions within the body. However, in too high of concentrations, the amino acids can become toxic and cause many problems, so your body needs to break them down properly in order to dispose of them as waste. However, in this case, there's the enzymes that are normally responsible for breaking down those amino acids. They're not being produced properly and not functioning as they should, so these amino acids are not being broken down. Symptoms of maple syrup urine disease include things like loss of appetite, weight loss, and the characteristic maple syrup smell in the urine and sweat. It makes a very sweet smelling urine and sweat. Interestingly enough, that is due to the excess amino acids within the sweat and urine. Those are kind of the main symptoms, but if left untreated, it can lead to things like seizures, comas, and in severe cases, liver transplant or even death. Usually, since it is presented congenitally, most infants are screened for this with a blood test to ensure the presence of these enzymes and catch the disease if it's there before any serious manifestation. Since it is genetic, it does persist over the life of the individual, and there is lifelong treatments that need to be happened, but fortunately, most of the treatments are pretty simple. There are some medications, but the main thing is avoiding high-protein diets. Since the body cannot break down all of these proteins properly, then you want to avoid things with a lot of protein, such as meat, dairy, and some plants, just to make sure that there's not the excess protein that is going to be causing problems within the body. Fortunately, this is a pretty rare disease. It's autosomal recessive, meaning that the individual has to inherit a gene from both the mother and the father in order to express this. They have to have both the maple syrup urine disease gene, and if only one parent has it and only one copy is inherited, then it won't express itself because it's being masked by the other dominant trait. So it really is very rare, which is good. It's not the end of the world. It's not the most dangerous thing, especially if caught early, but I do think that it is still a very interesting disease with very interesting manifestations and the name.